And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I've seen this game at a couple conventions and it really attracted me. Cat and Mice, a 3D games, and it is a 3D game. When you look at it, it is built as a 3D pyramid. And there's spots in here where you can drop a marble in and whoop, it's going to come out somewhere else. That's pretty neat, right? It came out over here. What a cool concept. Kids are going to love that sort of thing. Let's take a look. The first thing you have to do is you have to put together the game. The game comes in pieces and it goes together like a puzzle. It's not the simplest thing. Let's see if I can try to get it together now. As you can see, I'm even giving up here on these bottom pieces, which aren't really necessary. But suffice it to say, this is not a game that's going to be easy, especially for young kids, to put together. Each kid is going to get a piece of Swiss cheese of their type. A bunch of tokens are going to be randomly put down in the box that are numbered from 1 to 3. Each player is going to start with a wooden mouse. A wooden cat is going to be placed on this bottom board on the thing. The mice are going to be placed on a start space, which is over here on the side you can't see. Maybe I'll spin this around without breaking it. Wow, this board really warped. Not very pleased with that. You can see that's not going to be very positive for me, how much those bottom pieces warped. And inside each of these mice, there's going to be a marble. So you can see there's a spot in the bottom of the mouse for a marble. You're going to pick up the mouse and move it that way. On your turn, you roll a die. When it's your turn, you will start by going 1, and you'll come up to the top wherever the arrow points. I don't have it lined up properly, but whatever. You're just going to move from space to space until you get to the next ladder, and then you'll climb up that ladder, and then go around till you get to the next ladder, climb up that ladder, and go around till you get to the top ladder. Then you want to get around to the top. Now, what players are doing is when they land on a space, if they land on a mouse, they're going to draw one of these pieces of cheese and without looking at it, put it inside their Swiss cheese. If they land on a cat, then you roll the die and you're going to move the cat that far around. And if the cat lands on someone, they have to go back to the beginning. If they land on a spot where there's a hole, now that's the very fun part here, then you're going to move your mouse there and do it so that the marble rolls down that hole and comes out a ramp somewhere else. You can see it came out over here. Pretty neat. And that's actually the coolest part of the game, is dropping these marbles in the holes and then seeing where they come out. That one came out over here. And then when you do that, your mouse goes to the new spot, and then you take a piece of this and cover that hole up so it can't be landed on again. So that each time that you land on one of these, you're going to be the only person to do so. And players are going to keep going till they get to the top, and when someone lands on this flag exactly, the game is over. At that point, players will take their cheese pieces and they will reveal all the tokens on them, and whoever has the most points wins the game. Now I'm kind of at a bit of a dichotomy here with this mix-up, or a divergence of opinions, I think is better. My kids and other small kids that I played this with loved it. They loved it. But it really drives me nuts, and I'll tell you why. First of all, building the thing is a pain. There's no way that you can leave this sitting outside the box, unless you're going to leave it on your table, but it's really too fragile for that to happen. So you have to take it apart and put it together every time. Not an easy task. Kids are not going to have an easy time putting it together. And because you're like bending cardboard to slot them in, eventually it's going to wear out. And I think that's problematic. Secondly, moving the mice with marbles invariably means marbles are falling on the floor, like a lot, to the point where my game was played on the floor because we're not dealing with this marbles on the floor stuff all the time. And then after that, it's just a roll and move game, and kids are landing on pieces, and those pieces might be threes or they might be ones. What does it matter? Oh, the cat landed on you. And I really want to give kids some sort of decision making in games. There's none in this game. And yet still inexplicably they liked it. I think they liked the fact that they were going up a three-dimensional thing. The marbles, I mean, essentially this is 3D chutes and ladders to some degrees, or snakes and ladders. And I've seen 3D snakes and ladders before, and that's kind of cool. This one is less cool, actually, I think, because it's just so, well, they're both random. Yes, there's that whole, I think the kids like the stress. The cat is chasing us. We must run from the cat. And that's kind of a neat idea and concept, but it just did not come together well for me. So my kids like it a lot, and they'll probably want to play it again, but I'll have gotten rid of it because I'm the one who has to put it together, and I'm the one who has to explain to the one crying one why they only drew ones instead of threes. Yeah, there's a lot of other great games out there. This one sure looks pretty, and if I went to a game cafe for kids and this was there, it's probably a fun game to play with them, but not in my house. My kids love it, but Dad most definitely does not.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!